our annual town meeting at the Town Council for 2024. The first item on the agenda is the minutes of the annual town meeting held on Thursday, the 13th of April 2023. For those that are present who were there, may I ask if that is a true record of those that were held there? Agree? Thank you. The second item is apologies for absence, please. Thank you. Point 3 is the mayoral review of the year. I will keep it brief because I think we've been enough of me tonight. But as ever, we've had a number of civic events during the course of the year: mayor making, civic reception, civic service, Battle of Britain, Christmas light switch on, Mayor's Christmas carol service, and the Mayor's Ball, all of which went very well, and I thank those who did attend each of those events. As ever, the Mayor is in great demand from local groups and organisations, and I've tried my best to get out there and meet all those that have requested a visit. We do get visits from further afield. The great thing about being the Mayor of Thetford is you get visits from those in Norfolk, Suffolk and East Cambridgeshire, and the reciprocal visits means that we've got a little way to travel. So we've seen most corners of East Anglia during the course of the year, but it's a great opportunity to wave Thetford's flag to those that want to drive by on our island. We've also visited numerous town events and sports clubs, and it's great to see the community in its environment, and there's so many good people out there doing things that we as a town don't really appreciate. So hopefully through the social media that you've kept up with the local groups that I'm able to go and visit. The change from when I was mayor 10 years ago is we don't have a local press. EDP in Archon is pretty quiet, so the social media is taking over. I'm grateful to about Thetford who did attend a number of events and covered some of the things that are happening there, and similarly on the Public Hub. But you know, we probably have learned as a council that we do need to engage with social media, and that's something that will continue to evolve. So I think I'll leave it there, but I thank to all those who have joined me on the various occasions, and it's been a great honour to serve once more. I'll move now on to committee reports. The first one on the agenda is allotments. Councillor Chris Harlan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You'll have to excuse me, I have a really heavy cold, but as my dad used to say, I was ill better what's up. So I can see where we go. Right, the allotment committee started the mayoral year by revising its terms of reference to enable it to invite non-councillors on the allotment committee. Once approved, Mr. Peter Vale and Mr. John Hedlund were duly appointed non-council committee members. I would like to thank them for their help and guidance throughout the year. The committee has successfully reinstated its informal meetings with allotment tenants, hosted a well-attended meeting held in February this year. These meetings will be held quarterly and are intended to provide feedback to the allotment committee so it can take into account the views of allotment tenants, which are vital to us all. The committee also reviewed the appointment of site reps and has put into process to ensure that all allotment sites have reps. The intention is that the site reps will assist the committee with matters such as revising the rules, feeding back on compliance, and generally ensuring that tenants can raise matters of importance to their site rep and then inform us. Elections are being held at one site, and thereafter the site representative system will be established. The committee has a comprehensive work programme and is undertaking that, despite lack of staff, being the smallest committee on the council with the smallest budget. The work done by Carl and the work team has been much appreciated. We're looking at improving methods of clearing sites to make turnaround quicker, and the introduction of half lots has been well received. I would also like to thank the Accounts Department for undertaking the admin work needed to support the funding of the council allotments, and I would also like to thank my fellow committee members for their input and support.
Thank you. Moving on to the second item is amenities. Councillor Jones, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, councillors, members of the public. Very pleased to present the report for the Amenities Committee. We've had quite a busy year on amenities. We've met on the first Tuesday of the month for the past year, and I'm sure committee members will agree we've had many a long and detailed discussion. I'd like to thank our main committee officers, Nick and Alan, for their support, and the whole of the town team. The monthly town team reports, and I think I speak for the whole committee when I say this, are very much the highlight of our monthly meetings, and it's fantastic to see what is being achieved by all of them on all of our behalf. Thank you to the committee for their support and contributions, and for any members of the public that want to know more about what the Amenities Committee does, please do look at the agenda each month when it's published and read the town team report. It's absolutely fascinating and really reassuring what the team get up to. The Amenities Committee is entrusted to look after street furniture, Thetford's open spaces, including play parks, also town centre floral displays, the operation of public toilets in certain properties such as St Peter's Church, as well as the Thetford Cemetery at London Road. The committee also administers the Town Council's small grant scheme, and this year is administrating the Unlocking Thetford's Potential Fund, a participatory budgeting process that will take place next week, where residents will determine how £25,000 is distributed. In terms of key achievements, I'm very pleased to see that Castle Park has had a number of improvements, including a long overdue haircut, addressing the self-seeded trees and growth across the site. We've also installed new bird boxes on the site and created new habitats. There's been improvements to the fencing in anticipation of the new grazing arrangements. Grazing is also resumed at Barnham Common with both cows and sheep, and there has been a big effort to restore this site to open heathland in accordance with the management plans that have been agreed with Natural England. There is much work to do over the coming years, but this is something the committee is determined to tackle. At the outset of this year, the committee organised workshops and information sessions with the various experts and professionals that help to write the management plans for all of our open spaces, including Barnham Cross Common, Ford Meadow, Castle Park, Frederickswood and Main Street Wood. The council receives funding from the government to help maintain these areas, and thankfully a new grazier has been found to help with the grazing of some of these sites, including Barnham Common. We have 13 play areas as a town council. All have seen improvements during the past year with renewed safety matting and improved equipment. The town council has committed more than £100,000 to improving our play areas, recognising their declining state. We continue to provide the town council small grant scheme. It's got a yearly allocation of £6,000, and the committee agreed during the year to increase the amount available for each application from £300 to £500. The scheme was, as usual, fully subscribed, but I do encourage any members of the public or any organisations present to look at the small grant scheme if you're in need of a small sum of money to help your organisation. And as I mentioned, in addition to the small grant scheme, we are very pleased to be able to offer the Unlocking Thetford's Potential Fund, and forgive me for the quick plug, but that public meeting will take place next week on the 16th of May from 6:30 p.m. in Carnegie. Please do come along. There's 15 local groups bidding for a share of that funding, and every person, Thetford resident that attends, will be allocated up to 5 votes to choose amongst those organisations. The council spends a significant amount of money on its floral displays, and last year we entered the Anglia in Bloom competition. The council again received a silver medal in the town category. We're absolutely working to achieve gold this year, no pressure. What was particularly pleasing about last year's entry was that both Brecon Council and Norfolk County Council supported the Town Council with our application and helped to ensure that the areas they are responsible for were more presentable than they perhaps usually are. This level of cooperation has been extended to other areas of the town, such as the cleaning and maintenance of underpasses. None of the underpasses, including the Minstergate underpass, is in Thetford Town Council's ownership, but it is well used by residents, so Thetford Town Council has assisted with cleaning as well as applying pressure to other authorities. The Town Council is also working with Brecon Council to improve enforcement of dog fouling, which has become a significant challenge in Thetford. I'd like to close, Mr Mayor, by thanking the councillors on the Amenities Committee for their support, and I would also like to thank various volunteers who help the council to manage its open spaces through open space conservation volunteers, and you have seen some new volunteers helping with spring planting this year. They make a significant difference to our town. And lastly, and it would be remiss of me not to particularly highlight the work of our Thetford Town Team Manager, Nick Thompson, who supports the operations of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 4, it's the heritage and events. Councillor Brindle, please.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. Having overcome the technology, I'll proceed with the report of the Heritage and Events Committee for 2023-24. The Guildhall Heritage Hub was completed at the beginning of this year with great success. It's left in its legacy a thriving school and education programme which is still continuing to grow. We're now working with every school in Thetford, not just about education plans, but arts and history clubs as well. Heritage workshops and projects, including the Mosaic project and our up-and-coming D-Day project. Our heritage tours are a reenactment of their strength to strength, and they're sold out every time we put them on. We've gone from strength to strength, we've gone repeating the strength to strength with the events and hearts of the Guildhall, the children supporting us in those events. This has been able to happen with great support from our heritage and education officers. This means that the local knowledge and information about Thetford's heritage is shared with young people and the wider community. This, I hope, will help to ensure a sense of pride in our wonderful town and its extensive, very extensive heritage. Last year saw some fantastic town events ranging from our Whitsun weekend that saw us joined by the ever so popular Continental Market. We hosted in conjunction with Downtown and Ancient Heritage Museum our first World War weekend, which was very successful and being carried over to this year as well. The Christmas lights switch on is one of the biggest we've delivered this town with buzzing, starting with Santa arriving by the river to be met by lots of schools singing and drumming as he arrived. Probably our biggest success of the year was our summer event, our Seaside Special, our very own Seaside in Thetford, with our sandpit, puppet shows, evening entertainment and markets, a great hive of activity. The feedback from the community was very strong indeed. It was a long 5 days, but the team of officers worked hard to pull off a great event, and I'd like to thank them all very much for their contribution, success that they've made of this over the whole year. Finally, a significant amount of time has been focused on the Thetford Heritage Master Plan, a bid through the National Heritage Lottery Fund to enable a multidisciplinary team to develop a cohesive plan to take Thetford's heritage. This will continue to be complete at the end of May. There will then hopefully be discussion on how to take some business to the next level, preserving and sustaining our heritage for all the town and all its communities. And can I finally thank my colleagues on the Heritage Committee for their support and hard work this year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Moving back to Finance and Personnel, Councillor Jeremy, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm very pleased to present the report for the Finance and Personnel Committee. This year saw the amalgamation of the former Finance and Personnel Committees into one committee, and there is agreement from both officers and councillors that this has worked extremely well. From a personnel perspective, the committee has focused on a number of areas of work. Firstly, engaging in human resource consultancy to develop and implement a performance management framework. The HR team have assisted the council in streamlining the committee structure and restructuring the organisation to allow for improved decision making and increased productivity. The committee has also tasked the human resource consultants to recruit a new town clerk following the resignation in February this year of the previous incumbent. This process involved a review of the town clerk job description, and we have taken the opportunity to cast the net as far as we can, and we are hoping for a quality candidate. The application deadline was yesterday, so this will be a key task for the whole council over the coming months. During the year, we also recruited a new market coordinator and 2 new members of the maintenance team. The council agreed to bring the maintenance of our public toilets back in-house, and recruitment is ongoing for this. The committee will be coordinating a review of all job descriptions and implementing a new supervision and appraisal process to support staff in their work, recognise their achievements, ensure we're obtaining best value, and create what we hope will be a happy and fulfilling workplace. Promoting the training and development of councillors and staff has been a key aim of the committee, and congratulations to all staff who have developed their own skills over the past year, with training including play park inspections, first aid, cemetery compliance, allotment management and Legionella awareness. Councillors have also been keen to brush up on their knowledge too by attending courses such as planning training, introduction to council finances and chairing meetings. Training helps us to provide a better service to Thetford residents, and there is always something new to learn. From a finance perspective, over a number of years, the former Finance Committee has instituted a number of reforms and improvements, and this has continued during this year, despite the Finance Officer assuming the role of Acting Town Clerk for a significant period. Maintaining the financial sustainability of the Council has been a key focus of the Committee, and opportunities to reduce costs and increase income continue to be explored. Despite rising costs and inflationary pressures, the Council is likely to end the financial year with an underspend. The key task for the Committee over the past year has been to agree a budget for the financial year ahead, and as part of this, the annual council tax set-in. All committees and all councillors were invited to contribute to this process over a number of months, and we were delighted that the proposals were unanimously adopted at January's council meeting. The budget made allowance for the two maintenance staff mentioned, and I wish them well with their employment. As members of the town team, they'll be supporting the maintenance of the town, including our Thetford in Bloom efforts. We've also made allowance for two brand new apprenticeship positions, which we are looking forward to recruiting to. The budget approved allowed for the doubling of monies available to support the maintenance of our play areas, given their age and inflationary pressures to maintaining them. We've also set aside money to work with citizens' advice, who are overwhelmed with demand at the moment. This money will provide additional support for Thetford residents to access support through citizens' advice. This is support that they are entitled to, but often struggle to access or perhaps unaware. By accessing this support, it will improve their quality of life, but also bring money into the local economy. All of these proposals were detailed in the Unlocking Thetford's Potential document, which has become the focus for much of the Council's work. The budget proposals adopted resulted in an increase to the precept of 8.99%. This resulted in a Band D council tax increase of £13.91 per year. The majority of Thetford residents, however, are in bands A to C, and therefore the Band A increase was £9.27, the Band B increased £10.82, and the Band C £12.36. I would like to thank my fellow committee members for their support and the important work done by this committee, and I would also like to thank all of the staff for their efforts. In particular, Alan York, who's our main committee officer. He works exceptionally hard for both the committee and the council as a whole, and I thank him for his support.
Thank you. Moving on to the planning committee, which is myself. All town councillors are members of the planning committee, which meets on a monthly basis to consider the planning applications submitted. Bretton Council is the planning authority, and the town council is a consultee and has no powers to determine applications, although one hopes that the views of the town council are considered by Bretton in reaching their decision. However, there is still a public perception that the town council has decision-making powers. A major development in the town is the Kingfleet site, with numerous applications being considered during the last 12 months, mainly relating to amendments to initial plans and detailed plans for the different phases as they progress. The Kingsfleet development north of the old Norwich Road became part of the Thetford parish as the new Iceni ward last May, and the area of south of Norwich Road remains in Kilston and Brettenham, as the area was scheduled to be one of the last phases to be developed. However, moves are afoot to accelerate this area's phasing. The Town Council will be looking to get these new areas considered for being included within the Thetford parish. However, there is a barrier to starting the process, as no request can be submitted until the Bretton Council boundaries are finalised, a consultation for which is underway at present. Our key concerns continue to be the connectivity to the town, the mix of different types of housing within the developments, and the provision of amenities, including the lack of street lighting on the King Street development. All applications are considered by the councillors present, and we attempt to suggest improvements to schemes or valid planning reasons to oppose those not felt to be appropriate. Whilst most applications during the year are uncontentious, a number relate to high-profile sites and heritage buildings. Increasingly, we are seeing more infill developments, which can change the character of an existing area and put extra parking pressure on the neighbourhood. We would welcome attendance by members of the public to engage with the planning process and to help inform councillors of their concerns, and I'm pleased to report there have been numerous occasions when our deliberations have been aided by the attendance of concerned citizens. After more than a decade of campaigning, Brecon Council finally revisited the town's conservation area, which had been set out in the 1970s. This was their contribution to the Town Council's Heritage Master Plan, which was prepared during the year. One hopes a management plan will now be prepared for the conservation area, along with the resources to improve it. It is hoped some of this may come about at the next phase of the Heritage Master Plan. Brecon have completed the district-wide design guide, which will help complement the ideas in the conservation area appraisal and give developers a better idea of what would be acceptable design rather than trying to get away with the cheapest solution. An updated Brecon local plan is being developed and a further consultation is expected in May and June 2024. The committee also submits suggestions for the parish partnership scheme, whereby match funding is obtained from Norfolk County Council for small-scale footway improvements and the like. And another role of the committee is to refer items to the Greater Thetford Partnership, which needs to be considered at a more strategic level. I'd like to thank the officers for their administrative support and those councillors who attended planning meetings during the year. Thank you. And finally, we'll move on to venues and markets. Councillor Land, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Venues, Market and Communications Committee is responsible for the operational running of the Carnegie and Guildhall and the marketplace with its weekly Tuesday and Saturday markets, as well as looking after the Town Council communications, including its social media channels, website and poster sites. This has been the first year as both Town Council and Committee Chair. I have to say it's been quite the learning experience. Much of my focus has been on attempting to push back against the national picture and attempt to halt a decline of the market and build it back to a bustling centrepiece of the town. To that end, we've reduced fees for stallholders by 25%, both as a small thanks to existing traders for their continued support, but also as an incentive to new people. In addition, we've given away buy one get one free incentives for the free period for both young and new traders. Just as importantly, last October, we employed a dedicated coordinator with a focus on promoting and growing the market. The results have been gratified, particularly on a Saturday when we've seen a marked increase in traders, even if there is still work to do on the Tuesday offering. A feature of the last year has been the two very successful continental markets, as mentioned by Councillor Brindle. Helped by splendid weather on both occasions, residents from both Thetford and further afield thronged to sample some great wares and excellent food. I'm looking forward to more of the same. Communications have been improved via a long-new overhaul of the Town Council website that hopefully provides a better, less cluttered and more user-friendly experience. Two Our Town hard copy magazines, a new venture, have been produced and delivered to all residents, along with a further two online editions highlighting the brilliant work we've been doing as a council. At this point, I'd like to thank council employee Hazel Dawn for her impassioned and dedicated work in aid of both. Thanks, Hazel. The Carnegie has had a good year hosting celebratory events such as wedding receptions, parties and music events through third-party hires. It has also expanded its partnership events for both music and performance events, which has led to an improvement in the variety of the doing activities. Towards the back end of last year, the Guildhall completed a grant-funded programme to refurbish the venue as a heritage hub. Weddings have been held in this room here. Finally, I'd like to thank members of the events team for their splendid assistance in helping joint ventures such as Shakespeare at the Priory, the Punjabi Festival and Screen on the Green, which, despite one day of torrential rain, proved to be another great success. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So we move on to item 5 now, the question time, where electors on the current electoral register were asked to submit questions. Do we have any? So we've had those things, so I call this town meeting to an end, and we'll resume at 7 o'clock before now.
to our glorious dance history of the man himself, Thomas Paine. Last year you may remember that we did Regalia. This year it's Thomas Paine. Now, Thomas Paine was born here, as many of you know, in Thetford on the 29th of January 1737. A complex and controversial character. He was a writer and political activist who was influential in both the American War of Independence and the French Revolution. The statue of Thomas Paine in our wonderful town, I'm sure you all know, is by Charles Thomas Wheeler, and the statue was unveiled on the 7th of June 1964. This year will be its 60th anniversary. It was a gift to the town of Thetford by the Thomas Paine Foundation in New York. As many of you know, an inscription on the plinth describes him as an Englishman by birth, French citizen by decree, American by adoption. The gilded bronze figure stands in a dramatic pose on top of a large plinth. In his outstretched right hand he holds a quill pen, and in his left he holds a copy of Rights of Man, ridiculously upside down. Thomas Paine sailed to America in 1774 with a letter of introduction from Benjamin Franklin. He published essays condemning slavery and criticising British colonial policy. And in 1776, wrote the widely distributed pamphlet Common Sense, supporting the case for American independence, which led to his being hailed as a patriot by the Americans and as a traitor by the British. It has even been suggested that he played a part in the writing of the Declaration of Independence. President Obama quoted Paine in his 2009 inauguration speech, and he is mentioned in the celebrated musical Hamilton. After moving to France, Paine published Rights of Man, a controversial work reporting the French Revolution, but probably his most famous. He was involved in the trial of Louis XVI, but later fell out of favour with the revolutionary government and was imprisoned himself, only escaping execution by chance. Released in 1794, he later returned to America in 1802, but received a hostile reception there, primarily because of his publication Age of Reason, which attacked Christianity and other formal religions. Paine died in New York on the 8th of June, 1809. In a macabre twist to this story, his bones were exhumed and stolen in 1819 by the radical journalist and politician William Cobbett. He wanted them to be buried in England with a fitting memorial. Cobbett had them in his possession until his death in 1835, but then they disappeared. All over the world there are those who claim to possess parts of the skeleton, including one suggested that some of the bones were made into buttons. And finally, in 2002, Thomas Paine was voted number 34 in the BBC poll of the greatest Britons. Our very own Ludica coming in 35. Sir Winston Churchill at number 1, Isambard Kingdom Brunel at number 2, and at 33, just in front of our Thomas Paine, David Beckham. I wonder how he feels about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now sing you one song, and then two more a little later. Thank you very much.
And Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the Mayor of Thetford, Councillor Stuart Wright.
Please be seated. Those councillors who wish to remove their hats, let me do so. Welcome to the chair making of 2024. First item on the agenda is the election of the town mayor for the mayoral year 2024-25. So I'm asking for nominations for the mayor and town mayor, please.
I move to appoint Chris, Councillor Chris Alvey as the town mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a second, please?
Yes, I'd like to second that, please. Chris Harvey, thank you.
There being no other nominations, can I have a show of hands in favour? That's carried. Congratulations, Councillor Harvey, for becoming mayor.
While we're over in this case, Guildhall Community Choir will present.
Okay. Right. I, Councillor Chris Harvey, having been elected to the Mayor office of Mayor of Thetford Town Council, declare that I take office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the Town Council's code of conduct, which is expected of members of Thetford Town Council. Good evening. I will now announce the mayoral chaplain for 24-25 is Tim Lovejoy.
Well, as you can probably tell, this year will have a distinctive character of its own, so I am going to say the Lord's Prayer in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to start off by telling you how I know Chris, because that's what we decided we'd like to do this evening. I've known Chris since working together with him for the last 10 years on the Barnham Cross Residents Action Group, a group which Formston Church, of which I work for, has hosted and chaired for the last 25 years. And it is because of Chris's hard work, commitment and determination to help the community within his town council role that I have no doubts at all that he'll be an excellent mayor for Thetford. And it also means that it's my privilege to help in some way through the mayoral role of chaplain. Community spirit is going to be one of the key focuses of Chris's year in office. And by that we mean how we help and look after each other, the unseen neighbourly acts of kindness that aren't dramatic, they don't make the headlines, but they improve all of our lives. Or the many wonderful groups in the town, many of them voluntary, and some of you here, I've seen the faces who work in them, who quietly and consistently bring richness to local people in everyday life. This morning I chatted to my neighbour about his latest fishing trip. He asked me how my poorly hip was doing, and then he passed me a small parcel that he'd taken in for me yesterday. And if I'd not been in today, he would have put my empty bin back in its usual place. In other words, I'm blessed because I've got people who care and who are looking out for me, who are actually around me. I am therefore not alone. And Chris, I know, hopes that we can encourage this sort of community spirit throughout Thetford, so that people will not feel or be alone, isolated or forgotten. And now, with this in mind, I invite you to join me as we say the traditional form of the Lord's Prayer, which I'll go through nice and slowly. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chris, and I look forward to working with you all again for another year. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any apologies, please, Karen?
Apologies have been received from Councillor Adam Mitchell.
Okay. Right. 04:24 minutes to the last ordinary council meeting.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to propose that, taking into account the ceremonial nature of this meeting, that we hold over the approval of the minutes until the next meeting at the end of May.
Yes. voted thanks to the outgoing Mayor. Councillor MacDonald will move and say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to say some thanks to our outgoing Mayor. Now, having been a town councillor since 2007 and a previous Mayor in 2013 and 2014, Stuart's dedication and support of Thetford Town Council is beyond measure. He is extremely knowledgeable about the history of Thetford and an unexhaustive source of information. There is a standard saying at Town Council: ask Stuart Wright if you need any historical context or information. Now, Stuart has been an effective ambassador for Thetford, and his mayoral term will be remembered for the continuous promotion of Thetford as a town and his relationship building with community and sporting organisations throughout Thetford. At the commencement of his mayoral term, Stuart set out to promote the heritage of the business community and its role in development of Thetford. He has forged a good relationship between the council and the local business community, and his legacy project for his latest term of office is to celebrate business that have contributed to the growth of Thetford through a Made in Thetford piece of public art. Stuart has been instrumental in the formation of the Dad's Army Museum and the Thetford Players drama group, and his term of mayor has no doubt strengthened the links between the town council and these great organisations. He has more recently assisted the development of a permanent exhibition in the footsteps of Thomas Paine at the Thomas Paine Hotel. Now, on behalf of my fellow councillors, I would like to give thanks to Stuart for serving his term of mayor. It certainly has been very eventful, and his chairing of the monthly town council meetings may have been challenging, but it was a task that Stuart has done extremely well. On behalf of the town council, we would also like to thank Denise, who, as mayoress, has supported Stuart in his term of mayor. On a personal note, I've seen Stuart through two mayoralties. Should he go for a third one, I would, in the words of Sergeant Wilson from Dad's Army, do you think that's awfully wise? So I'd like to finish on thank you, Stuart, for your service to the town as our mayor in 2023-2024. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to second that, and can I ask Stuart to reply? Sorry, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councillor MacDonald, for those kind words. In response, I would like to thank my wife for her support during the year. Many of you see the photos have been put up. I couldn't take them on my own, so great for her assistance in those matters. The year has been a kind of change for the Council, and I hope I've acted as some form of stability as the work of the Council continues to evolve. The announcement of the £20 million of government funding over the next 10 years presents real opportunities for the town to deliver some really game-changing capital projects. And by using it to draw in further investments such as the Heritage Master Plan lottery bid, it could make a real difference to the life of the town. My thanks go to all the Council employees for their efforts during the course of the year and their support shown from various civil functions. I hope that during my tenure I have helped raise the profile of the Mayor and of Thetford itself, not only to the residents of the town but to those living elsewhere in the region. And it's gratifying to report that the office of Mayor of Thetford is still held in high regard, both within the town and across the region, as the new Mayor I think will find out. It has been particularly pleasing to note the interaction I've had with the younger members of the community during their visits to King's House or the performances I've attended, and the interest in their community and how it works bodes well for the future of the town. Thank you for allowing me to take this role for a second time, and I wish Councillor Harvey well for his year of office. Thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Stuart, for that. And your service has been greatly received over the last year through challenging times. And how you've kept a level head is beyond my comprehension. And the books are well done for yourself and Denise as well. And thank you for what you've done. Right, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming. The Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Norfolk, my family, honoured guests, members of the public, and more importantly, some of my friends. You might not fall one of it. I never ever thought I would become mayor, and I was elected all those years ago. I managed to avoid it for a while, but here we are. The only good news is the wife isn't at all pleased, but at least she's allowed in this year. I'm not really sure that you understand what you let yourself in for, but in my role as mayor this year, I want to bring in a real sense of community spirit. Thetford can and has in its history thrived on coming together, and I want to make that one of my themes in this upcoming year. I wanted us to look after those less fortunate than ourselves and make sure we look out and check in on our neighbours. You never know what people are going through or need a little help. So in the words of the song Aquarius that the singers sang really well, harmony and understanding is what I would like to go forward with us as I take the position of mayor. Let's look after each other and our town. My charities this year reflect this. They are Thetford and District Dementia Support Group, Gormston Family and Community Project, and the Meet Up Cafe for the Benjamin Foundation. Also in this year is very important. It's the 80th anniversary of D-Day, which is one, which we helped defeat the fascists or whatever, so we're able to sit here and do what we want without fear of repression. Right. So my events this year, the civic reception is June the 7th. The civic service is July the 21st. The Christmas light switch on is the 29th of November, and the carol service is the 6th of December. Right, and also, number one, I'd like to thank all the staff and the officers at Thetford Town Council for all their hard work, and I hope for your continued support for it this year. Alan has stepped up to the plate far more than anyone else could have expected. He's done a cracking job, but that doesn't mean anything to do. Anyway, I hope this year is going to be positive for us all, and again, thank you for coming this evening. It really does mean a lot. Thank you. Election of the Deputy Mayor for the Mayor of the Year, please. And can I have a proposer and a seconder? Councillor Wood, yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to propose Carla Barretto for the position of Deputy Mayor for the forthcoming mayoral year, please.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations on your new role. I'm very happy to second the nomination of Councillor Carla Barretto for Deputy Mayor of Thetford for the year ahead.
Okay. All in favour? Okay, thank you very much.
Carol Barreto, has been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of Thetford Council, declare that I will take that office upon myself with duly and faithfully fulfill the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the Town Council's code of conduct, which is expected of members of Thetford Council.
Okay then, 0824, meetings calendar for mayoral year 24-25. Okay, Councillor Mr. Mike Brindle will move, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pleased to move. Alex Green, meetings calendar.
Councillor McDonald to second.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to second that proposal.
All in favour? 924, the committee structure for mayoral year 24-25. Councillor Evans to move.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations. I'm happy to propose the committee structure for mayoral year 2024-25.
Second, Mr. Higgins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm happy to second the structure for 24-25.
All those in favour? Right, 1024, the committee membership for the mayoral year 24-25.
Mr. Mayor, before we do that, there is a mistake on 1024. Sorry, wrong one. I'm in track. Sorry.
We just can't get to stop. Okay, so we'll reverse it. Yeah? 24, committee membership for mayoral year 24-25. Councillor Matt Stewart to move, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations as well. I would like to propose the committee membership for mayoral year 2024-2025 as per Annex C.
Councillor McCain, second, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to second the committee membership for mayoral year 24-25.
Thank you very much. All in favour?
I'll come in on the right road on that. So before you put this up for proposal and seconding, there is an error on the Lady Chief Memorial membership. Councillor Mike Brindle was accidentally admitted, so if we could have been, we could vote in the schedule, that's the meeting notice.
Councillor McDonald?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to propose the external bodies requiring town council representatives 24-25 as per Annex D.
Thank you. Councillor Jefferson, second.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to second that motion.
Thank you very much. All those in favour? 1224, election of chairman and vice chairman for committees. Councillor Brindle again to move.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pleased to move the election of chairs and vice chairs for committees.
Councillor Stewart, very consent.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, congratulations.
Wait. back now, possibly. It's about making the chair for heritage and events. Do we have any nominations? Double rush.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Blackwell and Blackwell as the secretary.
Okay, do we have a second for that? Yeah, I can see it.
I'd like to second Danny Blackwell as chair.
Thank you very much. Are there any other?
Mr. Chairman, can I say that I was on the list and I've had a discussion with Councillor Blackwell and I'd be very pleased to support Danny Blackwell as chair.
Right then, so all in favour of Danny Blackwell chair? Anyone against? Right. Now we can decide for vice chair. We have two candidates for vice chair, Councillor Jefferson and Councillor Stewart-Terry, please. Can I have nomination for Councillor Jefferson, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to nominate Councillor Jefferson.
Can we have a second, please? Right. Do we have any other nominations? No? Okay then, so all in favour of Councillor Jefferson being wherever he's going to be? Okay. Congratulations and well done. Okay. We'd like to approve the schedule of the meeting. Oh, sorry. Okay, can I now approve the schedule of the other chairman, please? Yeah? Oh, good. I'm really glad I got a big sort there. Could we put that to the vote, please, all in favour? Thank you. Okay, just. Yeah, right. Okay, so I'll just roll this away. Okay, that's all the forward bit done. I'd like to thank you all so much for turning up and being patient. As you can see, although I've been a councillor 10 years, this is totally new. To sit here in this chair is completely different to sitting round at their table. And, you know, as most of you know, I'm a very quiet, reserved person. So, but I am sincerely grateful for the support of my fellow councillors and the members of the public, my family, especially my wife Linda, who, despite her name is Linda, she wants to be called Chel. Okay, so as far as you know, if you see her, it's Chel. So else you call her Linda, she won't know who you're talking to. Anyway, yet again, thank you all so much for the time, effort, and turning out. I hope you enjoyed the music. Aquarius is my birth sign. So there we go. Right, well, thank you very much. Please rise. We'll leave, which I'm sure you're really pleased about, and then you can often come get there's refreshments in the small room in here. Don't eat them all, so I don't care.